Last November, I had 3 friends tear their ACL playing soccer in 1 week. If you watch women's sports, they seem to be flooded with one ACL injury after another, with many calling it an injury epidemic. As a female soccer player myself, I can't help but think that it's only a matter of time until I'm next. And the numbers are most definitely against us. As a young female soccer player, you have a 5% chance of tearing your ACL every year you play soccer. That's a 20% chance of tearing your ACL in just high school alone. And I don't like our odds. I watched my friends suffer through terrifying surgeries and long, lonely recoveries. It felt like nothing could be done. But then I found out that there are easy, proven, and effective ways at preventing this injury. So why the heck are none of us using them? And I'm going to get into all of that. But first, I want you to understand what it's really like to tear your ACL. In the fall of 2023, Nicole Proya was on top of the world. It was the final game of the Massachusetts State High School Championship, and Nicole had earned that spot. Starting every game as a sophomore and scoring 19 goals in just that season, she was most likely the best player on that field. And then 5 minutes in, it happened.
I went down in the game and I immediately knew that it wasn't right because I could feel it in my knee.
Nicole's twin sister carried her off the field on her back, but all Nicole wanted to do was get back in that game.
So I was doing everything I possibly could have to go back in the game. So I was warming up to go back in and I knew that something wasn't right. All the emotions just started to hit, realizing first that I couldn't finish the game, and then second, what was wrong.
Bouncing right back was not an option. And instead, Nicole began her painful and long recovery process. Tear your ACL, you're looking at 9 months off the field. Months of physical therapy, a week out of school, powerful painkillers, whopping medical bills, and almost 3 hours in surgery. That one wrong move to the knee sends your whole life spinning.
Mentally was definitely more of a struggle than physically, because I have never not played a sport for that long in my life. So it was just really hard to watch everyone else keep going forward and then having to get through a big step back myself.
One of my players this past year was the first one, on my team to tear her ACL during a game that I was coaching. And I think it was exponentially more difficult and tragic for her because she was kind of going through it alone in that she didn't have that constant support system. The PT wasn't down the hall from her, right, like I had in college. And so I think it was far more isolating and far more emotionally and mentally draining.
So why was Nicole more likely to tear her ACL than other athletes? Because Nicole is a young female soccer player. As a female athlete, you are 2 to 8 times more likely to tear your ACL than men. This is due to a couple of factors, as Boston Children's Dr. Christino explained in our interview.
We do know that females are at higher risk for ACL injury compared to males. There are different reasons why women get more ACL tears. There's anatomic reasons, biomechanical reasons, some genetic factors, and also hormonal factors as well.
According to Mass General Brigham, ACL injuries are most common in the sport of soccer. This is due to the frequent jumping, landing, and changing direction that puts heavy stress on the knee. And lastly, skeletal immaturities in teenagers and young athletes make them more susceptible to this injury than older athletes. And not only that, but
the incidence has in general doubled in young people over the last 10 years or so.
So here's the deal. We can keep watching player after player tear their ACL, or we can start using a 10 to 15 minute injury prevention warm-up. One of them was tested in a randomized control trial of over 4,000 adolescent female soccer players. and has been proven to eliminate 64% of ACL injuries, 83% if players were fully compliant. 10 minutes, twice a week, eliminate 2/3 of injuries. FIFA also recommends the FIFA 11 program, which prevents 46% of ACL injuries and reduces risk for other injuries as well.
We're doing things that we may not actually realize are helping us, but they're small and they're regular and they're regimented, but they're helping us stay away from injury.
Many club soccer programs say that they do FIFA 11, but they lack key injury prevention components. For example, if you're not planking or jumping in your warm-up, then you're not doing the FIFA 11. Only about half of the semi and professional sports world know what the FIFA 11 is. And that needs to change because we need players like Nicole Proya on the field and not in the hospital. It is time to protect and invest in young female athletes who deal with a disproportionate number of ACL injuries that impact not just their athletics, but their entire lives.